I think we should be able to take a maximum 3 or 4 questions, brief questions. And I would request the students who are present here this afternoon to ask these questions, whosoever they wish to ask from amongst the panelists that we have. Thank you.
My question is how these developments, Pakistan-Afghan war and Iran-Israel this war, these developments tell us about the nature of SDM signed, Strategic Mutual Defense Agreement signed between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia, and to what extent they can actually go to defend each other. Thank you.
First, we have to make a clarity because many people are confusing agreement with effect and with treaty. It's an agreement with a big meaning, where we can cooperate, where there is a convergence of interest, and where there is no convergence of interest, we are not binding. It's not a binding, it's not a treaty. So we have to look at this mutual defense agreement within that context. Second point is that yes, there are a number of rapid developments that are taking place. Keeping in mind, we can revisit or reform it. Certainly, it's in the interest of the Pakistan and Saudi Arabia, because Pakistan, by signing this agreement, we have become, historically, we have become a part of a new security architecture in the Middle East. So we have to go with that, whether we like it or not. Because whatever is happening in the Middle East, it has a direct political, economic, even environmental impact on us. So you can say live in an isolation. So signing this agreement doesn't mean that we are going to strike on Iran. So the best example is that we have a good relations in Tehran, good relations in Riyadh, and with the other great powers. And as a result, as a middle power, we became a stabilizer or working for stabilization in the region.
Regarding the recent Islamabad talks, like the American and Iran were discussing fundamental points regarding the uranium enrichment and then Strait of Hormuz, the frozen assets of Iran. But the two prominent points was Strait of Hormuz and uranium enrichment. Like the United States proposed that Iran has to hand over the 140 kilogram uraniums to United States, and Iran refused that. We are not using it for any nuclear atomic purposes. We are using it for other like electricity purposes and other purposes. And then the Strait of Hormuz, Iran wants the fully control of the Strait of Hormuz, but America is not doing to do that. So what would be the prospect? The America has led the conversation to the deadlock. They're given the final and the order proposal that the final proposal that we are now these are the final statements, and if you are accepting that, then so what would be the prospects, like whether the situation would escalate or exacerbate or any other?
Basically, you need to understand that both the actors came to the table with very different perception. I was talking that for America, for Iran, they are not weakened, they are not destroyed. They have shown resilience, and frankly speaking, they came with an upper hand. And as far as the Americans are concerned, they think that with their sustained kinetic strikes, they have weakened Iranian to the extent where they can force them or compel them to, at least for the uranium enrichment and for the freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz. But the problem is when you cannot bridge this perception gap, and now there are only 3 options left. One of the options is that you just return to the negotiations. If you return to the negotiation, as I've already stated, both parties have different perceptions, so the end result will again be the same deadlock. The second is that they just move away from it. US should declare that they have won, and they just simply move away from the. This will signal basically weakness for the US, and it would undermine their deterrence also. So this is also not an acceptable option for the US. And the third option is that they should escalate, which is the worst of the all, and which is something we are witnessing right now. Because escalation will not be the answer. What they have already suggested that they will now blockade the Strait of Hormuz. So where it will end? It cannot. So until and unless you bridge this reality gap that who is the victor and who is the loser, and then they are willing to compromise, I think this escalation will get further worse. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Fatma Afzal, currently pursuing Masters in Governance and Public Policy from NAST. Firstly, I'm very grateful for this session. It has been quite insightful and valuable for learning. My question is, since we are saying that the recent conflict is surrounded around the oceans and seas, and maritime politics plays a very important role in it. So I would like to raise this question that why does Pakistan does not have a fully developed blue water navy, whereas India is classified as a blue water navy. So why is that? Thank you.
Zafar Nawaz, would you like to respond?
Thank you. I think that Pakistan's entire military doctrine is based on a defensive, not an offensive. And our navy, which you are talking about, blue water navy, we don't need a blue water navy because we don't have any interest out of the region. We have only a defense. Our coastal line shall be protected. And in that context, whatever we have assets, I think is more than enough, or we are capable to defend ourselves. So what India is trying, though India thinks that it has going for the blue water navy because it has a different agenda. Historically, they don't have a culture for that. Even they are not able to manage their what we call it continental forces within that. So that's the reason that when you talk about the military doctrine or a strategic doctrine, your demands, your threats, that will be going to dictate, not we have to follow what he is doing or what she is doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much to the panelists. You have done a splendid job in articulating your views on the given topics. Ladies and gentlemen, today's discussion have highlighted the evolving nature of global and regional security, from the dynamics of stable versus fragile deterrence to the far-reaching consequences of the Iran war and the reimagining of the Middle East. We have also gained valuable insight into Pakistan's critical role in global geopolitics and the complex challenges along Pakistan's western borders. Together, these perspectives underscore a common theme that in an increasingly interconnected world, sustainable peace depends not only on strategic strength, but also on diplomacy, cooperation, and adaptability. I would like to thank the panelists. A key takeaway is that Pakistan must pursue strategic balance, maintaining credible deterrence, strengthening regional diplomacy, and enhancing its global engagement in a rapidly transforming international order. Ladies and gentlemen, I once again thank all the speakers for their valuable contributions, and I thank all of you for your patient hearing. And also, I would like to thank the students who are gathered here for asking very, very relevant questions from the panelists. Thank you so much.